Hi everybody, happy Friday. If you're wondering why those marks in the backs, I'm in the process of taking down the wallpaper border in hopes to paint this room before the holidays. So today, I want to talk a little bit about something that's always been a debate, generic versus name brands. Now, I'm going to focus on food today in my talk about what my preferences are, which maybe differs to yours, but I want to explain why generic or name brand is not always the best or always the best option for somebody. So when it comes to canned vegetables, I personally don't see the difference between the various brands in canned vegetables. I don't see Del Monte versus store brand. It's corn. Well, it tastes pretty much the same to me. Green Giant, same. So I'm going to buy whatever the cheapest option is when I want it. It's just not worth paying the name brand for me. And this is the same thing with fresh meats. The Purdue label, I mean, it's great chicken, but so is the store-brand chicken. I mean, I don't see that much of a difference. And this goes for the unprocessed, fresh chicken breast chickens, not their chicken nuggets and things like that. And this also goes, I personally think, for most fruits and vegetables that are fresh and again unprocessed. But that's where it kind of ends, where the similarities are. When you get into canned and box goods, there's a big difference between generic canned pasta and SpaghettiOs or Chef Boyardee. There's also a difference between many canned soups and just even among the different brands. So, for example, though, where I find a generic brand better than a name brand is in Sloppy Joe's. I prefer the generic brand of Sloppy Joe's. I believe it's great value to Manwich. I just think there's more spices in the generic. But on the flip side, Kraft mac and cheese. I won't. I don't like any other brand. I don't like Annie's. I don't like generics. So for me, spending $1.25 for the Kraft mac and cheese versus 75 cents for the generic is worth the extra few cents for me. That's my preference and my choice, and I think that's very important when you make your own decisions as to whether or not what you prefer and what you want to buy. And at the end of the day, that's really what it boils down to. Don't go out and buy generic because someone tells you that generic just as good and you're lying. Don't believe everybody about it. If you have a preference, that is your choice. And I understand being low income, being frugal, you're trying to maximize your savings. But if you're not going to eat it, if you're not going to want it, what's the point? You're not saving any money because it's going to sit on your shelf. And you waste it because it's sitting on your shelf. So, in conclusion, being frugal doesn't mean sacrificing everything. It just to save a buck. I mean, it's about making smart choices with what you have and using the money in a way that's best for you. And I understand that's very difficult when you don't have a lot of money to work with because it's going to bills. So, but at the same time, don't feel guilty for buying a name brand if that's the flavor you love. Be intentional about it. Know where you're willing to splurge and where you're not. And that will help you determine what's best for you. Have a good day.